The ocean depths hold many secrets. Some are stories of natural wonder. Others are tales of human tragedy. The sinking of the RMS Titanic in 1912 is etched in our collective memory. It is a stark reminder of the power of the sea. However, the story of the Doña Paz is less well known. This Philippine-registered ferry sank in 1987. It claimed the lives of over 4,000 people. It is the deadliest peacetime maritime disaster in history. The Doña Paz tragedy unfolded in the warm waters of the Tablas Strait. This was a far cry from the icy North Atlantic where the Titanic met its end. Yet both disasters share a common thread. They highlight the fragility of human life when faced with the unforgiving power of the sea. The Doña Paz serves as a chilling reminder of the importance of maritime safety. It also underscores the need for accountability when such tragedies occur. The Doña Paz was a passenger ferry making its regular journey from Leyte Island to Manila. It was December 20th, 1987. The Christmas season was in full swing. Families were eager to reunite and celebrate. The Doña Paz was packed with people. It was licensed to carry just over 1,500 passengers. However, it is estimated that over 4,000 souls were on board that fateful night. Many were undocumented. They were traveling home for the holidays. As the Doña Paz sailed through the night, the passengers were filled with anticipation. They were unaware of the danger that lay ahead. The ferry was overcrowded. Safety regulations were lax. The crew was likely fatigued. This was a recipe for disaster, and disaster was waiting in the Tablas Strait. The Vector was an oil tanker. It was carrying over 8,800 barrels of petroleum products. It was on a course that would intersect with the Doña Paz. At around 10:30 p.m., the two vessels collided. The impact was catastrophic. The Vector's cargo ignited on impact. The Doña Paz, overcrowded and ill-prepared, was quickly engulfed in flames. The collision occurred in open water. The darkness of the night was broken only by the light of the moon and the terrifying glow of the fire. The peaceful stillness of the sea was shattered by the screams of terrified passengers. The smell of burning fuel and the cries of those caught in the inferno filled the air. Panic erupted on board the Doña Paz. The collision had knocked out the ferry's power. It plunged the ship into darkness. There were life jackets, but they were locked away. The flames spread rapidly. They consumed everything in their path. Passengers were trapped. They faced an agonizing choice: burn alive or jump into the dark, shark-infested waters. Some jumped. They hoped to escape the inferno. They hoped for a miracle. Many were killed on impact with the water. Others succumbed to the flames. The lucky ones managed to find pieces of debris to cling to. They floated in the darkness. They prayed for rescue. Section 5. A Sea of Sorrow. The burning wreckage of the Doña Paz lit up the night sky. The flames were visible for miles. The cries for help faded into the night. The Vector also sank. It added to the devastation. The scale of the disaster was immense. It took hours for help to arrive. When rescuers arrived, they were met with a scene of unimaginable horror. The surface of the water was littered with debris. The charred remains of the Doña Paz and the Vector bobbed on the surface. The air was thick with the smell of fuel and death. The cries of the few survivors pierced the silence. Section 6. Unthinkable loss. The official death toll for the Doña Paz disaster is 4,386. This number is staggering. It is more than double the number of lives lost in the sinking of the Titanic. Only 24 passengers and 2 crew members from the Vector survived. They clung to debris for hours. They witnessed the horrific loss of life. Their survival was a miracle. The survivors' stories are harrowing. They paint a picture of the chaos and terror that unfolded that night. The stories serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of this tragedy. The loss of life was immense. It is a stark reminder of the importance of maritime safety. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Section 7. A litany of errors. The investigation into the Doña Paz disaster pointed to a series of errors. The ferry was overcrowded. The crew was likely fatigued. Safety regulations were not followed. The Vector, the oil tanker, was not properly manned. This created a perfect storm. for disaster. The collision and subsequent fire exposed the lax safety standards in the Philippine shipping industry. It highlighted the lack of enforcement of existing regulations. It revealed the complacency that had set in. The Doña Paz sinking was not just an accident, it was a tragedy waiting to happen. Section 8. The Forgotten Disaster. Despite the scale of the Doña Paz tragedy, it remains largely unknown outside the Philippines. Several factors contribute to this. The disaster occurred during the Christmas season. It coincided with other major news events. This overshadowed the tragedy. Additionally, the Philippines was under martial law at the time. This limited the media coverage. The lack of global attention also stems from the fact that the victims were mainly from the Philippines. They were not wealthy tourists. They were ordinary people. They were going home for the holidays. Their stories were lost in the vastness of the sea. Section 9. Remembering the Doña Paz. The Doña Paz tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the importance of maritime safety. It underscores the need for accountability and enforcement of regulations. It highlights the human cost of complacency and negligence. The memory of the Doña Paz should serve as a call to action. It should inspire us to demand better safety standards. It should encourage us to remember the victims. We must learn from this tragedy. We must prevent such disasters from happening again. Though the Doña Paz may be a forgotten tragedy for many, it remains a scar on the hearts of the Filipino people. It is a solemn reminder of the fragility of life. It is a testament to the enduring power of hope and resilience. We must remember the Doña Paz. We must learn from the tragedy. We must honor the victims by striving for a safer world.